I've been honestly waiting to talk to y'all all week because I have a lot of stuff to get off my chest, basically. I'm in a very transformative moment in time, and I'm very internally grateful, but also, I have my daily struggles of like becoming a better person. And that takes a lot of mental, like, not gymnastics, but more you learn about yourself, and learning about yourself actually takes a lot of work because the things you learn about yourself, you actually have to decide if you want to change them or decide if you want to change them or just confronting negative aspects of like who you are within like your relationships, how you treat other people, how you go out into the world and conduct yourself, and how you carry yourself, and recognizing that like you're a person in the world. My life doesn't happen in a vacuum, and my actions actually affect other people. And that's like a crazy thought to have. It's like you can go through your whole life and feel like it's just me, I just live in my bubble. But when you have moments in your life or like something happens between you and somebody else, and you recognize like, no, like the thing that you're doing like hurts this person, or they can recognize when you're not present, or I'm speaking very specifically about my own situation, obviously, but like all of these different emotions that like you can affect somebody else. It's a sobering moment, like it's very grounding to know that like, no, like I'm not here alone. Like I'm not here alone, and actually somebody is deeply moved by whatever I'm doing in life, and moved by how I choose to treat them and how I move throughout my days. I guess the main thing I wanted to talk about today, did I say that shit already? I guess one of the things I wanted to talk about today was like the idea of fear paralyzing your sense of creativity. This past week I've been like I had this irrational fear that like I was doing so bad at my job that I was gonna get myself fired. That fear of like losing something that's so stable as like a job, and a job that I actually really like, basically, and almost feeling like I'm painting myself into a hole, led me to sort of feeling like stagnant in my thinking. I think ultimately it was just like a humbling moment of feeling like I don't know. I want to start off by saying like, I don't really know. How do I want to say this? Like, I don't know what I'm doing as far as this YouTube thing goes. I don't know what I'm doing within life. I don't know what I'm doing as far as like being a good friend, significant other, son, all these different aspects of life, like you learn by doing. And within that, I feel like I haven't really scratched the surface. But that also gives me hope to know that as I continue to grow as a person, and like within my life as a creative, as I continue to grow through these things, that I will eventually get to this point that I am the person that I want to be. And I am this person that I idealize in my head. I feel like this past week, with the relative success of my last video and all of the positive comments that I've gotten from people that I don't know, and just like the love, I've been trying to fight the feeling of expectation. I would be creating if there was no one watching. And in that way, that has been empowering for my creative process. The feeling that no matter how this goes, I'm doing it for myself. And honestly, this is like therapy for me at this point. That fear and those expectations and irrational thoughts of meetings, expectations that no one bestowed upon me, but I bestowed upon myself, it actually leads to like killing my own imagination in a way, which is like counter to the mission, like you want those ideas to be flowing. It almost like just creates like a writer's block in a way. I think ultimately, as I close this, I had a thought this week that I felt like was very important going forward in my life. I don't want to be so consumed with my inner dialogue that I become disconnected from like my actual reality. And that ultimately just means like, I don't want to forget that I'm very blessed. I'm in good health. My family is in good health. I'm in love, I I have all of these things, tangible and non-tangible, that I can look at and remind me that like life is actually in a very good place. And I feel like being so consumed in my inner thoughts has far too often clouded my actual perception of how things are actually going for me. Like things are going amazingly. And I remember like in this Earl Sweatshirt interview from like 2 years ago with like Zane Lowe, he was talking about putting out an album and actually enjoying the fruits of your labor. And so much of what I think right now is like, yeah, I'm on the road towards something I presume as bigger and like more than what I can sort of imagine. But that should not stop me from the fact that like the moment that I'm in right now, the people that I'm surrounding myself with, the way that I feel and the mindset that I'm in should never take away my appreciation of the moments.